So now it's simply the way we were doing it before, right? What are the factors of 12 that will subtract to be 4?
6 and 2.
6 and 2. Do we want to use 4 and 3?
No.
They times to be 12, but they don't subtract to be what?
4.
4. So I want to use 6 and 2. 6x and 2x. I want them to subtract to be positive 4. Okay? Which one will have the minus sign then if I want them to subtract to be positive 4? The 2 has the minus sign. Everybody got that? These two in the middle will become the 2 in the other 2 boxes. So it doesn't matter where I put the 6x and the negative 2x, by the way. Does not matter. I'm just throwing a 6x down and a negative 2x down. But these two, it doesn't matter which box it goes in. Everybody got that? These two, it doesn't matter. How did I get the 6x and the 2x again? Yeah. That's the most important part. So if you miss this, you got to catch it, okay? How did I get that? I asked myself what multiplies to be what?
12.
Negative 12, and then would subtract, because that's a subtract sign, to be 4. Positive 4. So what multiplies to be 12, subtracts to be 4. That's like what we were doing on the front page the whole time, right? What is it? 6 and 2. Boom, those are the ones that are going to go in those squares. Okay. Once you have that, factoring is easy. Now it's all common factoring. You do it like a matrix. So I'm going to factor out to the left, and I'm going to factor out up top. That's super important, okay, is to go up top. So I'm factoring to the left and up top. Everybody got it? So to the left, what's the common factor between 4x squared and negative 2x? What's your name?
Jax?
Jax. What's the common factor between 4x squared and negative 2x?
2.
2 and x. Everybody got that? Common factor. Okay? That's all I'm looking for. I don't even have to do it. I don't have to leave what's left or anything. Just factor it out. Okay, Cavery, what's the common factor between 6x and negative 3?
3.
3. So I just write that down right there. Very simple. The sign of the first box comes out with it. This sign was positive, this sign was positive, so these are both what? Positives. Okay? This is why it's important to factor up, because it gives you the sign. Okay? So, Maggie, what's the common factor as I factor up here? 2x. Very good. 2 goes into both 4 and 6. X comes out. Very good. Okay, Jace, what's the next factor?
2 and 3.
There is no factor, right?
No.
So I need to put a negative because this first box is negative, and then the only common factor is 1. When there is no common factor, and Jace said that, there's really not a common factor. The common factor is 1. Okay? So everybody got that? That's an important idea, is that the common factor be 1. All right, so what's the factorization of this whole thing? Super easy. X, 2x plus 3. Does everybody see where I got that? Where did 2x plus 3 come from?
The left side.
The left side. And then I have 2x minus 1. Where did that come from? The top. That's the factorization. If I was to FOIL this or multiply it out, what would that give me? What's 2x times 2x? 4x squared. Hey, it's right there, right? Outside terms, negative 2x plus 6x. What's negative 2x plus 6x? 4x. I get the middle term. Last terms, negative 3. Can you see that? So really, this multiplies to be this. Okay, and it should. If you did this part right, if you did the box right, this should multiply to be that original equation. Now, if I was setting this equal to 0, I'd set each one of these equal to 0 and solve. We'll do that in a minute. Okay? In fact, we're going to do that very next. Okay, let's look at number 20. 23 or 24? Which one do you guys want to do?
23.
23? Okay, let's do 23. Okay, everybody do 23 with me. How come I picked 22 or 23, by the way? What's going to happen on 22? What's going to happen on 22? What's the common factor on 22? 3. It will come out. Whoa, hello. All right, it's going to come out. Okay, that 3 is going to come out on 22. I'm not going to have to do hard factoring. Okay, but on 23 I am. Let's do 22 and 23 just to review what we did on regular factoring. Okay, So let's do 22, because you're going to have to do these anyway. So let's do 22 and 23. So on 22, as I write it down, I'm just going to do the factoring. This is what you would write down, right? So, Belle, what am I going to factor out?
On which one?
On 22, what's the common factor?
3.
Just 3. Okay, there's no x with it, just a 3. What will it leave for my terms that are left?
X squared
Good.
plus 4 x
Good.
plus, or minus 9. No, 12.
3 into 36.
12.
12. Close though. I'm with you. It's just a hard one.
That's only ways for 9.
Honestly, that's a hard one. No, honestly, that's a hard one. Anytime you get into double digits, that's hard to do. And it equals 0, right? Because all these equal 0. We put them equal to 0. Everybody got that? Okay, now, the reason that this one isn't all that hard is there a number in front of that square now?
No.
No. So Trim, what question should I ask myself as I read it backwards? What multiplies to be
12,
and subtracts to be
4.
4. What multiplies to be 12, subtracts to be 4.
6 and 2.
6 and 2, we just did this, right? X and X, 6 and 2. Notice I didn't put in my what yet?
Your sign.
My signs. I say, hey, it's a difference. The signs are
different.
different. Bigger one gets the sign in the middle. Which one gets the plus then? The 6. Which one gets the minus? The 2. 3 still there, equals 0. Now, here's the tricky part. How many things am I going to set equal to 0? 2 or 3? Weirdly enough, just 2, because there's only 2 x's. So anything with an x gets set equal to 0. In reality, this 3 in front is going to be divided out to the other side. Okay? Those 3's will be divided out. What's 3 into 0, by the way?
0.
Still 0. Now I set each factor equal to 0. You with me on that? So you only set factors equal to 0 that have a what in them? An x. That's something you might want to write in your notes. You only set things equal to 0 that have an x in them. Okay, so this is going to be x minus 6, or sorry, plus 6 equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. Now what? Solve this really quick for us, Alejandro. What should I do to both sides? Get the x by itself. What do I do to both sides?
Minus
Minus what?
6
6, both sides are done. Right? X equals negative 6. What should I do with sides of this one?
plus 2.
Add 2, super simple, x is 2. Those are my 2 answers. Again, if you think about it, put it in right here. What's 6 minus 6? 0, it'll equal 0. Put 2 in right there. What will that be?
0.
0, 0 equals, so it'll cause the whole thing to be 0. When you're multiplying by 0, it doesn't matter what the other one is. So if you plugged in 2 here, yeah, that would be 8, but this would be 0. What's 0 times 8?
0.
0, that's why there's 2 answers. If it's to the square, how many answers do I expect? If it's to the cube, how many answers do I expect? 3. Got it? Something you might want to have in your notes too. If it's to the square, you expect 2 answers. If it's to the cube, I expect how many answers? 3. If it's to the 4th, I expect 4, so on, right? Now, some of those answers might be repeats. So you might get 0, 0, 2, and negative 5. 2 of the answers might be the same. You see what I mean? But they're still really 2 answers. What do these answers represent? Did I show you this before or not? What do these answers represent on a graph? They're the points that will cross the x-axis. That's the way that graph will look. It will cross the x-axis at negative 6 and 2. And it's a parabola, it's a square, so it's a parabola. So every time we're solving, we're really trying to find the points that crosses the what? X-axis. That's the solutions. That's when y is 0. That's why we set it equal to what?
0.
0. That's why I had you set every one of those equal to 0. Because you're really looking for these points that it crosses. Okay? And we do that by factoring, which is nice. Makes it easy. All right, let's try 23. Why is 23 so hard? Because it has a number in front of the x that can't be factored out. Can you factor out the 6? No. Here's why. The 6 doesn't go into the 5. If it was the first and the last term, yeah, I could factor out a 6, but the 5 is making it so I can't factor it out. Does everybody see that? So I can't factor out the 6. So What do I do? Box method. So McKay, what goes in the box right here in the top left? What goes right here?
Is it 6x
Good. 6x what?
squared?
Squared. That goes in the top.
Are
Okay?
you doing number 23?
I'm doing number 23.
Is it supposed to be -6?
Yeah, mine.
Equals 0. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, that should be a -6. Sorry. I just didn't write it down right when I looked at it. I looked at it quick. Okay, -6. So now what should go in this box then? And that's a good call, because what's going to go in this box now? -6. And if I would have messed that up, I would have messed up my signs and everything, right? So yeah, that's a good call. What's your name in the back?
Me?
Yeah.
Sid.
What is it?
Sid.
What's the next thing I'm going to do, Sid?
You're gonna.
You remember from this other one that we did, the box one?
Yeah, you're gonna factor out.
Not quite. What do I do next? Times them, yep. I have to do the part out to the side, okay? So which means I've got to multiply across here. Again, go straight to here, and I times, okay? So I'm going to multiply to there. What does that give me? -36x squared. I'll show you another way to do this, by the way, on this problem. And then I say, all right, -36x squared, and I need to get a negative what? 5x. So now I ask myself the question, what multiplies to be 36 and subtracts to be -5? What multiplies to 36 and subtracts to be -5? Give me the factors. Two things that times to be 36. It's not 6 and 6, is it? How come? It doesn't subtract to be 5. Okay? So you got to think otherwise. Okay, 6 and 6. What else goes into 36?
9 and 4.
What is it? 9 and 4. Hey, that subtracts to be what? 5. Some of you may have thought 3 and 12, but it doesn't subtract to be what? 5. So you want to use the 9 and 4. So I'm going to write 9x and 4x. Notice I haven't put in the signs yet. I want them to subtract to be a -5x. So which one gets the negative? Which one gets the negative if they got to subtract to be -5x? 9 has to be negative, and the 4 has to be what? Positive. You with me on that? Because the middle term was -5x. If the middle term was plus 5x, then they'd be opposite. You got that, Avery?
Yeah.
So if they, yeah, so you were on the right track though. You're okay. It's not a big deal. Okay, so let's see here. I'm trying to learn some people's names. That's Derek. What's Whitley? Whitley, right? Okay, I got you. Who are you? Roll. Yeah, what is it?
Allie.
Allie. Allie, where should I put the -9x and the 4x?
On either one of the boxes.
Either one of the boxes. It does not matter which one. Okay, I just need to put them -9x, 4x. It doesn't really matter. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So don't get caught up in all that. Just know that these two go in the two remaining boxes. Notice I kept the sign of the -9. I'm really keeping the sign of the 4 also. But you need to keep the signs with them, otherwise your signs will be wrong when you multiply. Make sure you keep the signs. That's something you might want to put in your notes. You two, I don't know your names. Isaac?
Yes.
What's your name?
Matthew.
Matthew. Matthew, what's the common factor as I come out to the left then? What goes into both 6 and 4? 2 what? X. Because there's an X in both. You with me, Matthew?
Yeah.
Okay, Isaac, what's the common factor on the bottom one?
Negative.
Negative. How come we pulled out a negative? First box was a negative. That's all you have to remember. If the first box is negative, I pull out a negative. All I care about is the first box. So negative what?
15.
Nope, what goes into both?
Oh.
3. It's what divides them evenly. When I say what goes into both, that's what I mean. What divides them evenly. What divides both 9 and 6 evenly? 3. No X because there wasn't an X on the other one. Okay? Now I want to factor up, and this is important because this will give you the right sign. Jax, what do I get when I factor up here?
3.
Notice he didn't say negative because this box, even though it's negative, is the second box now, isn't it? That's why it's important to factor up. So I go 3x, and then factoring the other one straight up. Let's see here, going back over to this side of the class. I know. What's your name?
Me?
Yeah. No, you in the pink.
Oh, Kaisen.
Kyson. So what do I factor as I go straight up?
2.
2. Okay. Is it positive or negative? Positive 2. I want to put that sign with it. And it's because the 4 was positive. Everybody got it? Okay, now I'm done. What's the factors? 2x minus what? 3 and 3x plus what? 2, and it equals what? 0, and now I just solved this. Okay, now solving this is a little pain in the butt too. I can tell you that right now. Because I've got 2x minus 3 equals 0, or I have 3x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, what's your name? Either one of you two.
Katie.
Katie and
Destiny.
Destiny. Okay, so Katie, what would I do to solve this equation for me? What should I do first?
Plus 3.
Add 3. And then what?
Divide by 2.
And then divide by 2, and x is 3/2. Leave it as an improper fraction. Trust me, it's easier to plug in that way, okay? So leave it as an improper fraction. And then Destiny, do the other one for me.
Subtract 2.
Okay?
And then divide by 3.
And divide by 3. And again, just leave it as a fraction. Don't try and change these to decimals. It's because if I plug it into the factors, it's going to give you 0. Can you see that? If I plug this one into this factor, it'll give me 0. The 3 will divide out that 3, and I'll have negative 2 plus 2 is 0. You see what I mean? So that's why I like to leave them as fractions. It just makes your checking pretty easy. These are my two answers. Those are the two values that will give me 0. Those are the two places that it's going to cross the x-axis. You with me? So that's what we have there. Okay. That's pretty tricky, okay, to do, is solving it after you factored it. The factoring actually comes pretty easy. Here's how I used to do it. I'll show you another way to do it. If you've got the box method, you like the box method, you understand the box method, you can kind of ignore me and do a problem. So do like 24. If you want to just do the box method, you can ignore me. If you're like, dude, I might want to see a different method, because this is kind of bugging me. I don't want to do all that writing, because I'm lazy. You have to remember that. So I don't ever write anything down, as little as I can. So this is what I say to myself. Okay, I got these two terms. So I want a product of those two terms, negative 36, that will subtract to be 5. So I do it mostly in my head. I say, hey, I've got negative 36x squared. I want a product that will be negative 5. So now I have to start. So really, am I doing the same thing as the box method?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just not writing the box down. And then I say, all right, what times it to be negative 36 subtracts to be 5? Hey, it's going to be, and now I use these factors, by the way. I know they're the factors of 6 and 6. So the factors of 6 would be 3x and 2x, right? And they'll have to multiply to be a 9. So if this is a 3x, see I got those from that. What do I have to multiply 3x by to make it a 9?
3.
3. That'll make that a 9. And then in order to get this to be a 2, that's got to be a, to be a 4, it's got to be a 2, sorry. Okay, so again, I'm thinking about the outside terms giving me 9, and the inside terms giving me what? 4. What's 9 minus 4?
5.
5. So the 9 has to be negative, 4 has to be positive. There's my factorization. That's probably more complicated for most of you, doing it my way. There's a lot of thinking that goes on and not much writing. So some people like that better. All I wrote down was negative 36x squared. And that was to get my mind to think, all right, I'm going to use, and I used the factors of the first term. I wrote the factors of 6 being 3 and 2, and then figured out how to make it 9, and then figured out how to make it 4. Okay? But that's a lot of figuring. And most people aren't good at that. It's much easier just to do the box method and then do the factoring out. You can't miss them. So I would suggest doing the box method, okay? Not doing it my way. My way is quicker, but you have to be pretty good at your multiplication tables and adding. Sometimes you mess up the signs. I've seen a lot of kids mess up a lot more on my way than they do on the box method. Nobody ever messes up on the box method. Okay, let's flip it over. Let's go to 33 through 40. You tell me which one you want me to do. And I'll tell you why I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do one of them, but I'll tell you which ones I won't do. So which ones do you think I should do, 33 through 40?
39.
39. It looks like I should do 39, but why am I not going to do 39? I can factor out a 2 right off the bat, and it'll become a coefficient of 1. You with me? So that's why I'm really not going to do 39. But I will do 40. 40 I'm going to have to do a box method. And 40 is a little weird. Okay. Oh no, 40 is okay. 21x cubed, it's still a little weird, but it's not really bad. Minus 2x equals 0. It's a little weird because it does have a common factor. Isaac, what's the common factor?
21, I don't know.
21 doesn't factor, or neither does 2. But what does factor out of each term?
Oh,
X.
Just an x. That's kind of a trick question, right? But there is an x on this one. It leaves 21x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. Again, factoring it out means I divide it out. Okay? So there we have it. Now what?
Now you do the box method.
Now I do the box. How do I know that I'm going to do the box method?
The 21.
There's a 21 there, and it's going to be the way that I know I get that right. So I'm going to write 21x squared, box it, negative 2 down here, times those, negative 42x squared. And it's got to subtract, obviously, to be what? Negative 1x. Two things that multiply to be 42 and subtract to be 1. Don't say it out loud, just think it. Two things that multiply to be 42, subtract to be 1. What do you think, Jesse? Do it on a calculator. Think about what you can do on a calculator. What do you know goes into 42? When you do, 2 did, but that wouldn't do me any good because it wouldn't subtract me that. 6 and what? 7. 6 and 7 multiply to be 42, and they'll also subtract to be what? Negative 1. So I'm going to put, hey, I got a 6x and a 7x. Which one of them should get the negative here?
So
If it needs to subtract to be negative. Negative 7 plus 6. Okay? Again, signs are different, and the bigger one gets the negative. Is that true still? Yeah, it's still true. All right. So I'm going to, does it matter where I put them?
No.
Nah, 6x, negative 7, I don't care. X, oh sorry, I forgot the x on that. Okay, that's all. That's it. Doesn't matter where you put it. All right, factor out the common factor on the bottom part. What's your name?
Autumn,
Autumn. Factor out the common factor right here as we come across.
2.
Nope,
Oh, the top is
Oh,
coming this way.
7.
7, very good. 7 what?
X.
X, very good. Everybody got that?
yeah.
That's the common factor. Alejandro, what's the common factor here?
2.
2. Is it an x?
No.
No, because there was no x over there. Got it? Okay. Trim, straight up. 3, very good. 3 what? X, very good. Nice job. Okay, and Brody, next one.
-1.
Very good. How come that one was tricky?
Because there's nothing that affects.
Yeah, there really was nothing to factor out, but you still have to do a -1 to hold the place there. Okay? So 1 is the common factor. So I'm going to do that. All right, so now I have x, parentheses, 7x plus 2. Where did this x come from? Right there. It never left. Okay? That was the common factor originally. And then I have 3x minus 1, and it equals 0. Now, this is the tricky part. How many factors are there that I need to set equal to 0 on this one?
3.
And I knew that even before I started because it was x what? Cubed. So I need to say, all right, this is x to the, or x equals 0. This is 7x plus 2 equals 0. And this is 3x minus 1 equals 0. That x just doesn't divide out. Okay? It is a factor. If it was just a number, I could divide it out. But if it's an x, I have to set it equal to 0. So one of the answers actually is what?
0.
0. This answer will be, somebody tell me what it is. Whitley, do this one real quick for me. Subtract what? And then divide by 7. You're just trying to get the x by itself. Okay. X is -2 what? 7. Is it okay that I get a fraction?
Yes.
Yeah, don't freak out if you get a fraction. It's fine. The world is not coming to an end. Okay, Josh, what am I going to do here?
Which one?
This one.
Oh, that one.
Add 1 and then what?
Right.
Oh, hello. Add 1 and then divide by what? 3, and I get 1/3. Got it? Those are my 3 answers. How come I had 3 answers? Look at the problem. It was an x what? Cubed. I expected 3 answers. Everybody got it? Okay, try the rest of those on your own now. So you got to finish the rest of that worksheet. You can stop it.